And for boys, February of 2011, the vaccine has finally been approved for boys. It was approved in 2006 for girls, and now it's approved for boys. And the reason that that's interesting is because no boys can get cervical cancer. You know, they don't have cervix, but they do get genital warts. And genital warts on a penis and having treatment for genital warts can be very, very, very painful. It takes several visits to the doctor. And it's not interesting for any man to see or to think that something like warts are going to grow on their penis. So this vaccine will protect them now as well from contracting HPVs and also giving it to their partners, and then therefore it's also protecting them from genital warts. So up until 2011, it's been up to us women to take care of everything, and we've been a little bit frustrated about that. It's like, why aren't the boys able to get the vaccine? Yeah. Well, now the vaccine is here. So the only downside to the boys' vaccine being out right now is that it isn't covered through our provincial healthcare programs. So yes, there is costs incurred for a guy to get the vaccine. It's the same procedure, 3 doses over a 6-month period, the same as the girls. And there is a cost. I don't want to get into the specifics exactly, but it's a little over $100 per dose. I'm hoping that we're going to get to a point where it will be covered as well. But you know, at the end of the day, even if it isn't covered, we are seeing people, I mean, I'll speak for myself. It's nothing for us to go and get our nails done, $50. Buy a pair of Parasuco jeans, $100. Nice Nike shoes, $120. So if we can afford to put money into our fashion, which is short-lived, you know, we are always updating our stuff. How can we not take that same money and invest it into our health, right? So that's how we can kind of mull over the numbers and say, okay, well, yeah, it's a few $100s, but if it's going to protect me from getting something that's going to cause me all kinds of bad feelings, you know, that are attached to getting an STI, then yeah, it's investing in your body. It's investing in protecting yourself and making sure that when you do become sexually active, you're going to end up in a healthier relationship, because that's the goal at the end of the day, is to be doing things that are going to leave us healthy. So the vaccine, at the very least, it's something that everybody should look into. They should go see their healthcare practitioners. A great website is www.sexualityinyou.ca. There's links for parents, teachers, students, kids, like everybody has their bracket. And it's a really great place to get a little bit more information, because it's hard to find good unbiased data about HPV and about the vaccine. And, you know, there's personal issues that come into play as well. Some parents believe it's, you know, a green flag for their kids to go and have a sex life. Some people say that the vaccine hasn't been out long enough and they want to wait and see a little bit. But at the same time, when we get more information, I think we'll just leave it to everybody, you know, for themselves to feel their comfort zone in the discussion. But one of the things for sure is that we, all human beings at one point in life, are going to become sexually active. So it's better to look into it and address it when those opportunities come up through the vaccine programs at school especially, so that you're making educated decisions and it's not fear-based decisions. So getting good information from proper websites instead of fanatical ideas, and all, because there's a lot of, you know, we know what the media has a tendency to do to certain topics. So it's really important to get information about the vaccine before making decisions, instead of just going by what everybody else is saying.
So talking about the media, what do you think the media brings to students or kids, even teenagers? Like what image does it bring to us?
The media, isn't it? You know, our media. Everything is just so slick, quick, and perfect, and you know, it's everybody's thin, has perfect hair. Well, I don't want to generalize too much, but I mean, let's talk about Jersey Shore.
Jersey Shore. It's a good example.
Jersey Shore, perfect good example. I mean, okay, so we get to see a group of kids, I say, you know, young adults that are, you know, having a free-for-all. In an enclosed environment, cameras. And I think that if we look at that show in particular, because I mean, that's something that a lot of young people are watching. They're watching Jersey Shore. They're thinking, and everybody's got an opinion about it. yes, it's extreme, but if there's no holds barred, there's no parents around, there's access, carte blanche to alcohol, partying, you know, hot guys, hot girls, short skirts, tight tank tops, you know, you put that all into a mix, then these are things that do happen. And if you isolated a group of young adults and had a conversation with them and you say, I give you all of those things, credit card, fashion, hotel room, and a club down the street, and then watch you, it'd be interesting to see, you know, how many people would identify with the things that go on with Jersey Shore, because I think that there is a lot of truth to, you know, that game that gets played. And I can only speak for myself as a parent as well as an educator. I watch it with my daughter, and I'm trying to turn it into more of an opportunity to teach her about what guys are thinking when they're getting into relationships, what girls are thinking, the game that takes place, and also using it as a way of making her being more educated before she gets into the game. Yeah. Because I look at it from hindsight, right? And I'm like, oh yeah, it was like that.
The better educated, the better you.
That's right. So, you know, the next time you get yourself into a situation where you're getting hit on and, you know, you're intoxicated and all of these things are happening, if you've got this education prior to that, maybe you know, all those elements in place, maybe you won't make those same decisions. So I look at a show like Jersey Shore as a way of saying, these are, you know, pumped up scenarios. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm not going to say that everybody, well, I don't know how you guys feel about it. You're more in the age group that's in the middle of getting into that, that type of, you know, scenario. You're about to start being allowed to go into bars. You're about to start doing all of those things. And so if you look at it properly, you could take a lot of lessons from that, because, you know, saying it from my point of view, it is a little bit like that. It is a little bit like that. And it's kind of sad to say that the game really does take place like that. But I mean, at one point or another, instead of smashing the show and saying it's disgusting and this and that, if we're all going to be really honest about it, we can identify a little bit more than we're saying with those situations. Well,
the show is not disgusting. It's a lesson that shows people, like, from our point of view, it's telling people, like, you see what you're going to end up if you do this. Like, he shows how people guys treat women in that kind of situation.
That's right. And I mean, you're also getting to see, like, the flip side of the coin. Like, we're not going to put anybody in a box and say all guys are like this and all girls are like this. But a girl watching that show or a guy watching that show and seeing the interaction when they're smushing and this is and that, it's like, well, we could look at it and go, oh, that girl should have, you know, she shouldn't have, you know, went over in the corner and made out with him. And then, oh my, like, where was her head when she went back to his place and went into that room? And it's like, maybe in our minds, we can make it that if we ever go into those scenarios, we're not going to do that. And to think that after it's done, to hear how that guy's going to talk about you, or how that girl's going to talk about him, because it's not just guys, it's girls. It goes both ways, the meat market, right? Yeah. So it's, you know, I think that there's a realm of lessons to be learned, because there's a whole bunch. There's that Teen Mom show as well. It's that American. That's also a very good show for the same reasons. These are specific cases. You know, they picked, you know, some wild teenagers to show their lives and how that they've got through their pregnancies, this is and that's, and then their life after. And I think that the more we get to see these scenarios played out, the more we can apply them into our own lives and do it better. Or, you know, you could take the other route and say, oh, I want to be like that. But when you're starting to see some of the results on the shows, I'm not so sure how, I don't know if you guys want to be like that, but I think,
not at all.
You know, that's the thing. So I think for, you know, on the topic of media, it's all in the eyes of the beholder, you know? Yeah. And you could take any show and learn from it.
Any show.
Any show.
Yeah.
Especially the reality shows.
Yeah, those are the best.
Yeah. And do you see anything coming in the future?
As in?
As in the run against HPV?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, as we're promoting the event here in Montreal area, we do a run against HPV. This will be our 5th one. It's being held on May 28th. Parc Jean Drapeau. I believe it's at 10 a.m. And we're extending an invitation to the general public to come out. And it's a 2.5 kilometer walk or a 5 kilometer run. There's hot dogs, hamburgers, music, you know, it's going to be, you know, like a little morning. For secondary 5 students, that's across the board, never mind what high school you're going to. Anybody who needs volunteer hours, you know, they can contact our organization, www.hpvawareness.org, and find, you know, get contact with us to be able to volunteer, and then they could apply those hours to their diploma to graduate from high school. But it's going to be an event. Basically, we're trying to promote the importance of, you know, being aware of HPV, fighting this HPV, and getting control of it, because cervical cancer and genital warts and all of these things are preventable and detectable. And we can't say that about everything right now. We can't say that about breast cancer. We can't say that about a lot of other things that go on as far as sicknesses and things that we can get. But on HPV, with more education and awareness, we can really get to a place where by the time my kids are grandparents, the rates on cervical cancer and where HPV is today isn't going to be like that. But it's going to take us turning events like the one what we're throwing into a bigger deal, so that we're really putting our thumb on the situation. So it's called the Run Against HPV, May 28th, Parc Jean Drapeau on Ile des Sars? No, Ile des Sars, Montreal.
Cool.
So.
All right. Well, thank you for being with us today and for talking to us.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you very much for your time.
Berceau de l'immersion française.
That's all we have for today. Thank you for watching, and we hope you enjoyed the show. We'll hope you tune in next week for another episode of Riverside Television. Thank you again, and see you soon.
Berceau de l'immersion.